What's up,
How you doing?
That coat has to keep you warm.
Definitely, it's so cold out
We're
here.
just talking about the turbo coat.
For sure.
Yeah, but that watch might keep your wrist cold.
Danny, were you surprised this fight, came through for you? Because, you've been wanting this fight for so long, and it's been, you've always been vocal about it, chase him anywhere to get it. So the fact that it came through and it happened for you, were you surprised?
I was very surprised because, when you think about when people say star power and they want mega fights, sometimes I'm left out of the equation because I know I'm more of a threat than people would consider a superstar to make major profit off of in, mega fights. So my hat's off to Canelo for accepting this fight because, I really didn't think we were going to get it. As much as I pushed for it, in the back of my mind, I've always just felt like some way, some shape or form that it was going to fall through, whether it was them lowballing me, whether it was weight situation or just whatever the case may be. It could have been several reasons why it would have fell through. And me being a champion, I've always wanted to make sure at least I had the respect that I deserved. So when everything across the board made sense for me, I signed my part of the deal. And as soon as I got the word that Canelo signed his contract, I was jumping for joy. And it was an excitement, yeah.
Almost 2 years ago now, you were in there with Golovkin in Madison Square Garden. You take Golovkin the distance for the first time, break his knockout streak. I thought at the end of that fight that you were more or less happy to have gone the distance with Golovkin and not necessarily that you didn't get the victory.
So you're just saying I was just happy with the fact that I went the distance? No, I say you just said, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
You didn't say in the question form.
Yes.
So what are you asking me?
Were you happy to get the? I thought that you were happy to get the decision.
You're incorrect. I actually thought I won the fight. I actually thought I won the fight. I actually thought even with the knockdowns, I did enough to enclose a close decision. I kept contact with my trainers in between rounds, so his assessment of the fight, I trusted. And going back and looking at the fight, at the end of it, I truly in my heart felt like I won. Not that I was happy to go 12 rounds. No, that doesn't make sense to me.
I was just trying to be honest.
No, I appreciate that, but I'm just being honest myself. Yeah, that doesn't even, as a fighter, it's almost insulting to say that I'm just satisfied with going the distance. So you have to understand from my perspective that in my mind, I truly felt like I won, and I wasn't broadcasting it as if, I got robbed. I'm just happy with the fact that I went 12 rounds with Golovkin like many reporters or many other people would say. No, I truly in my heart felt like I won the fight. So that's what I said.
Now you're in a situation, another super fight with Canelo. You've been vocal about being able. You think you can stop Canelo? Are you looking to not take this or have this go into the judge's hands?
Well, I truly feel that with my style, and obviously if you're knowledgeable about the boxing game, styles make fights, and you understand that. So the fact that Canelo lost or beat Triple G doesn't automatically means that he beats me, because styles make fights. So in my opinion, based on my style and what I bring to the table, yes, I do feel like I can stop Canelo. But my goal is to make sure that I secure victory with no drama, with no controversy, with no issues, with who the decisive winner is. So that's my goal.
Do you feel like winning by knockout is your only path to doing it?
No, I do feel like there's going to be a lot of pressure on the judges, and we're going to make a note of that so we keep everybody accountable, because we're going in there, we're risking our lives, and we're fighting for everything. And we want to make sure that everybody does what they get paid to do, and not well, you know what I mean, like, because people say people get paid under the table. That's not what I mean. I mean keep people accountable for judging fights the way that they see it, and not based off of influence from the crowd or influence from any other source. My job is to secure a dominant performance and make sure that there's no doubt. So whether that's being an aggressor, boxer-aggressor, whether that's knocking him out, whether that's, winning a close fight. He's a talented guy. I'm gonna have to adjust. There's gonna be some things that I might have to face in there, despite his disadvantages. But I'm looking forward to it all. This is an exciting time for me.
Danny, there was no doubt that Floyd Mayweather beat him
Right.
in 9 or 10 rounds.
Right.
One judge had scored it even.
Yeah.
So it brings me back to the question.
Right. I mean, but we're not going to have those same judges, I'm hoping.
No, she's out.
Right. We're not going to have those same judges. But like I said before, we're going to bring attention to the judges to make sure everybody's accountable for it. And it's not to make excuses or not to put anything out there prior to, but it's still, I have responsibility as a fighter. Reporters have a responsibility as reporters, even though sometimes you guys don't care about it. Judges the same way, right? So everybody has a responsibility. Cool?
Do you have to train for that? Like, does it have to be part of your game plan coming into it, knowing that you might not? So, like in the Derevient,
no, I know exactly what you mean.
Right,
Let me
right.
answer that. I appreciate that question. My thing is this: when we're training, sometimes when I'm sparring, I might have guys glance my glove or block certain punches. We don't want to give any looks whatsoever. We don't want to give the crowd or we don't want to give the judges anything that they can say Canelo won this fight. So that's our game plan.
Who do you think won each of the 2 fights between Canelo and Golovkin?
In my honest opinion, I truly think Golovkin won both fights. I thought the second fight was a lot closer, and I take my hat off to Canelo for adjusting, but I still didn't think that he won. I think at the very least, it could have been a draw, the second fight, but in both fights, I picked Golovkin winning.
So with that being said, obviously you're a really good boxer, but with Canelo sometimes getting, I guess you could say, questionable decisions, does that make you want to come out a little bit earlier to be more aggressive instead of using your range, trying to keep him back? Do you want to come aggressive, probably try to hurt him?
I just, it's all going to come together the night of. We're still forming our game plan. We still have a long 2 months of training camp. We're still putting the pieces together. And in the final week of our training camp, we'll know exactly what we need to go in there and do. But obviously, this is boxing; anything can happen. So if I need to adjust and make Plan B my Plan A or Plan C my Plan A, then that's what we're going to do.
You fought a lot of really good fighters. Where would you kind of put Canelo? I mean, you haven't been in the ring with him yet, but just on paper.
On paper, he's the best opponent that I've faced. On paper.
But wouldn't that kind of be a contradiction? Because you said that you feel that Golovkin won both fights. You fought Golovkin. So wouldn't you
but on paper, he beat Golovkin. So to me, when you're asking me on paper, I have to go with the on paper question. And on paper, yes, he is the best fighter that I fought because on paper he beat Gennady Golovkin, even though that's not what I agree with. So on paper.
Danny, I was hoping you could clarify something for me. Obviously, you hold the IBF.
Yeah.
So usually you're restricted to a 10-pound weight limit. This is a unification.
Right.
My understanding.
The morning of.
Yeah.
Right.
Morning of, right?
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't understand that. They just think I can't come in no heavy. Yeah. Sometimes you guys got to specify that because the fans, they don't think that I can come in over after the second day weigh-in. They just think, oh, Jacobs has to be 170 and that's it. He can't come in anything higher. But to clarify that, we did it in our last fight. We're looking forward to doing it again, even though the IBF ruled out that for a unification bout, there's no second day weigh-in. But Golden Boy put in the contract, so that would be a question that I would like to know.
I asked them and they said the IBF put it in there.
So we got this on camera. Golden Boy said that the
I just
IBF.
wanted some clarity from you because I asked them before they
So
got.
we made history 2 years ago when we changed the ruling of the IBF and how they take care of fighters with the second day weigh-in or unification bout, right? We already established that. It's already been established. So for me, I think they're looking for any way, shape, or form to get an advantage. This is not something that they're not used to doing. I mean, we know in Amir Khan coming up from whatever weight he was, and it was a catch weight, all these different, it's not the essence of boxing. And it's not what I know to be, if you're a champion, this is not championship behavior. Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya, he's a fighter himself, so he knows. And it's very insulting to us as champions and to the sport because you got this #1 guy that you know, regardless of what, is going to sell out and going to get the mass public. So you use that to your best benefit, which is not right to the sport. Because if you respect the sport that you put years in, you respect the sport, you got to do right by the sport. Do right by your fighters and do right by everybody else. So.
How difficult is it to kind of game plan for him?
Who, for Oscar De La Hoya or for Canelo? I was just
How
joking.
difficult kind of is it though? You know, he likes to come forward. He also boxes on the back foot. You know, I guess that could be a question for your coach as well.
Yeah.
How hard is that game plan to come about?
I mean, it's really not hard because I'm a very versatile type of guy. I can go back, I can go forward, I can go side, I can do a lot of different things inside the ring. I can even switch southpaw if need be. So it's really not about a matter of what's the game plan and then we're going to do this, that, or third. It's more so about adjusting because we don't know the type of Canelo that's going to come that night. I'm way bigger than Golovkin was. And Golovkin was way bigger than Canelo was that fight. So you guys do the math. And I think when we actually in there, he's going to see the size difference, he's going to see the speed and the athleticism. That might pose a different threat for him, and he might change his game plan or naturally go back to what he's used to doing. So we only can tell when we actually step inside the ring.
Danny, was there any push from your side to have this fight kind of in your home turf where you've been fighting for so many years?
No, it was no push. I knew that if I was to get this fight, it was no issue for me where the fight took place. It could have been in Mexico, and I would have went to Mexico to fight. Wouldn't have been my preference, but that's just how passionate I am about knowing I could be victorious in this fight. And you have to go through different hurdles to reach greatness, and I understand that. My back has already been against the wall to be at this level. So now that I have all these stipulations and under the contract and I can't do this and I can't do that, come on, add them on. I'm already used to this shit. I'm already used to like people not giving me a shot. I'm already used to people saying I got to go through this to get this, and now it's my chance. And when that bell rang, I would have done my job. I would have made my way. I would have met every criteria in all the contracts. And now it's my time to do my thing, and that's what I'm waiting for.
How do you plan to adjust kind of your kind of routine that you typically have when you're fighting in this general area? How do you plan to adjust when you get out there?
Something that you don't really even think about, really. It's nothing that I mean, we have game plans, but like I said, when you adjust, that's an instinct. You know, you say, okay, I'm gonna throw my jab fast, he's blocking it. Okay, I might need to throw the jab and the hook. It's off instinct. You don't really plan for it.
I mean, as far as kind of your fight week preparation, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. No different. This camp is gonna be an enhancement of what every other camp prior to this was. So we realized that we have a shorter fighter, a faster fighter, a more elusive fighter. We're just going to adjust that with the sparring that we get, and that's really the difference. But it's not going to be any difference from how we actually train for fighters.
And how much better do you feel that he is maybe from when he fought Floyd Mayweather 5.5 years ago until now?
Oh, it's evident. He's definitely got better, and that I like. I like the fact that he's at his best, or that the people think that he's at his best, because when I get in there, me believing that I'll be victorious, it'll be no excuses. I would have beaten the best middleweight fighter to claim what I've always said before. I'm the best middleweight in the world. So I want to go through the best to become that, officially. Yeah.
Do you want to kind of go back and look at those tapes when he fought Floyd, or do you feel like it's too long ago? Because Floyd is the only person that beat him on paper convincingly.
So you got to understand too, and I don't know if I'm giving you too much info, but fighters always go back to what they naturally do under pressure. So, and Freddie Roach told me this. Sorry, Andre, but Freddie Roach told me this. He said that fighters automatically gonna go back to what they normally do, whether that's the bad habits, whether that's just whatever it is. That's what we're gonna watch for, his flaws. But we're going to have our own game plan to go in there. But we're going to just kind of keep an eye out for those things. Because when the pressure gets on, the pressure's going to be on. And I'm going to really see just what all the fuss is about and what all the talk is about. Because I'm coming in there with all the aggression, with all the athleticism, with all the mind frame of adjusting. So I'm going to put my best foot forward. And that's just as simple as that.
Did Derek Pacheco and some fights were the appropriate fights for you?
Good question. 100%. 100%. Those were fighters that could have given Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin tough matches. Sergey Derevyanchenko, like I've said, I know him through and through, so I expected an even more tougher fight than I actually experienced. So it definitely prepped me, because you guys know I've been, in my early career, I've been knocking out a lot of guys. I haven't really got that experience like going 12 rounds with a Floyd Mayweather, or like doing all of these different things. It's very, very, it's very rare for me. So going the distance at this particular point in my career is essential, and it's like priceless, because learning that, engaging that at the top level, from 1 to 12 rounds, from a mentality standpoint and how you grow within the fight, to a physical standpoint, how you learn to balance yourself, because you can't go full-fledged all 12, every second of all 12 rounds. So it's an experience thing for me, and I'm grateful for it, because I look back at the tapes and, you know, I can see exactly where we need to benefit and change things and move forward. So it was necessary.
Will you be working with Victor Conte for this fight?
We're gonna go over to the West. We're gonna go to Snack for the second portion of our camp. So we're gonna have 2 camps. We're gonna have one in New York, which already started 3 weeks ago, and we're gonna finish it off in the West Coast, so we can already be acclimated to the time zone and to just being on the West Coast. Yeah.
I don't really want to sound corny, but like, does it kind of feel like meant to be? I mean, you know, you beat cancer. A lot of people, a ton of people gave you no chance when you fought Peter Quillen.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Sergey Derevchenko was a tough one. When you fought Triple G, people thought you was gonna get knocked out in the 3rd, 4th round, whatever. You know, you overcame all of that, and now you're fighting the biggest name in the sport.
Yeah.
So you kind of feel like, I'm ready 100%. This is my moment. I know I'm gonna win. I got no doubt.
It's a weird feeling, because I just feel like, I mean, I'm not a religious person at all, but I'm spiritual, and I just feel like, you know, this moment and how everything kind of transpired throughout my life and career is brung me to this moment. Like, I realized yesterday actually, I came across a lot of people that were in my early boxing career from when I very first started in Brownsville. I went to Brownsville yesterday, and I met up with so many different people that share that part of my story. And I was just telling everybody, like, wow, like, you know, I'm fighting the biggest fight of my life. It's just random how everybody just came together today at this place where it all started. It almost seems as if it's meant to be. The hood. Thank you, brother.
Is this the biggest? It's the biggest fight of your life. Is it the biggest payday of your life? And have you given any thought? If it is the biggest payday, have you given any thought to like to how that affects your life, like on a personal level? You know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, before the contracts are signed, you know what you're getting before you sign the dotted line.
Right.
So, I mean, financially, I think I'm great as far as being comfortable with my purse for this fight. As far as the future, I haven't really given thought of just, you know, how it's going to change my life. But you just know. It's just one of those things you just know. You don't really give it thought. And I've already gained success to where, you know, money really isn't.
So it's not a huge bump, right?
Yeah. It's not. It's really not like it's gonna change. Because when you're a humble person, in my mind, I feel like I'm a humble person, and you know, money really isn't everything. It's everything because you want to get the most for what you work for, right? And as a businessman, you want to make the best business transactions. But at the same time, it's like it's not just about the money. You know, it's about the legacy. It's about proving that you're the best middleweight in the world. And it's also, for me, a lot deeper than that, because I feel like I haven't got the credit that I deserve. And in coming in back from cancer, I had to go through this and go through that, and now this is my chance to prove to the world. So it's really not about the money, even though that's an important factor. It's just it's the icing on the cake. Yeah.
In a way, what happened in July 2010 in Las Vegas, your last middleweight title fight there, you can kind of right that wrong, and then some in this fight in Las Vegas where you lost.
Oh yeah, of course. And that's another thing when I'm just like, wow, 10 years ago we were in Vegas. Pretty much, you know, a little month apart, couple months apart, but I'm just feeling like this is all meant to be. I mean, I haven't fought in Vegas since I lost. I just gotta be my best me, man. I gotta let the pieces fall where they may. At the end of the day, that's just my job. Go in there, train hard, and put a good fight. That's what you guys.
Danny,
get past Canelo as you expect to. There's rumors circulating that Golovkin is close to signing with the Saul. Would you be interested in the unfinished business with maybe a rematch with Golovkin?
Absolutely. I want to fight the best fighters out there. I want to please the fans, but personally, I think Golovkin, the rematch with Golovkin is something that I want to go for, given the fact we get this victory and whatever happened in the near future, because there might be a rematch with Canelo. We never know. So, but that's definitely in my mind frame. Yeah, for sure.
Last question, guys, if you got one.
Thank you.
In terms of Canelo, the last 2 fights we've seen him be the aggressive.
Yeah.
Obviously, the clearly one maybe he was a little overmatched, but against Triple G, he did come out as aggressive.
Right.
Do you foresee that happening in this fight? And if so, does that play into your benefit?
It plays into my benefit because I feel like I can do it all. I really feel like if he was to come forward, I can go back, I can go side, and I can push him back as well. It's just a matter of finding the right times to do it, not letting him dictate the fight. And that's really it. Like, he's not going to dictate this fight. And that's where I know a lot of the time, and I see your face, but I know a lot of the times that's what the judges look for. They look for effective aggressiveness. So I can't let him be aggressive. I have to be my best self, use my circle movements, use my jab, use my athleticism. And then you know when I hurt people, like, yeah, it's so I know how to finish the job. Derevyanchenko got lucky that first round, because had I had 1 more minute on the clock, he'd have been out of there, right, Dre?
He was working.
All right, come on now. But I'm excited for the fight. I appreciate you guys. I look forward to seeing everybody. Canelo, Alvarez, Jacobs, Vegas. Don't miss it. Thank you guys.
Is there a rematch clause for this one?